What is a cell? So, a cell is basically a building block of all living things. We also know that all living things are made up of cells. Who discovered the cell? So, the cell was first discovered and named by Robert Hooke in 1665. He remarked that it looks strangely similar to a cellula or small rooms, which monks inhabited, thus deriving the name. But what Hooke actually saw was the dead cell walls of plant cells of the cork tree as it appeared under the microscope. And the first man to witness a living cell under a microscope was Anton van Leeuwenhoek, who in 1674 described the algae Spirogyra. Leeuwenhoek probably also saw bacteria. So there are two major types of cells, namely the eukaryotic cells and the prokaryotic cells. So let's go first with the eukaryotic cells. So if you get a ringworm, it is not a worm, but it is a common fungal skin infection, otherwise called or known as tinea. So if you have that ringworm, you might actually think of the doctor giving you antibiotics, but actually it is not. Instead you will be given antifungal or antifungus, because antibiotics is or does not kill fungi, because antibiotics is only for bacteria, and in this case ringworm is not a bacteria, rather it is a fungi. So what you will be given is an antifungal medicine. Ringworm is a fungal infection caused by common mold-like parasites that live on the cells in the outer layer of your skin. Bacterial cells and fungal cells are very different cell types, where in fact fungal cells have more in common with your cells, which is the animal cell, that they have in common with the bacterial cells. It has a lot to do with the comparison between prokaryotic cells and the eukaryotic cells, which we will focus on. And in the modern cell theory, it includes that all living things are made up of one or more cells. Eukaryotic cells are cells that contain a nucleus and organelles, and are enclosed by a plasma membrane. Organisms that have eukaryotic cells include protozoa, fungi, plants, and animals. These organisms are grouped into the biological domain Eukaryota. When describing cell, it is called prokaryotic cell, and prokaryote is the organism itself. While eukaryote is the organism itself, and eukaryotic cell is what it is called when describing the cell. Let's go through the parts of the eukaryotic cell. So first is the nucleus. So that is the nucleus. It is a big indicator of eukaryotic cells. This organelle has two major functions. First, it stores the cell's hereditary material or DNA. Only the cells of advanced organisms have a nucleus, and that is the eukaryotes. Second is it coordinates the cell's activities, including growth, intermediary metabolism, protein synthesis, and reproduction, or the cell division. So that was the function of the nucleus. So next is the ribosome. That tiny dots inside the cytoplasm are the ribosomes. It is a complex molecular machine found inside the living cells that makes protein from amino acids in the process called protein synthesis or translation. Every cell needs ribosomes to manufacture protein. The cytoplasm. The cytoplasm is a jelly-like fluid that fills a cell. It is made up mostly of water and salt. It is responsible for giving a cell its shape. Next is a cell membrane or a plasma membrane. A cell membrane protects the cell from its surroundings. Next is the endoplasmic reticulum. The endoplasmic reticulum is subdivided into two parts. It is the rough endoplasmic reticulum and smooth endoplasmic reticulum. The rough ER produces protein because it has ribosomes in it. The smooth ER produces lipids or fats. Next is the lysosome. The lysosome is the cell's stomach or garbage dump. Cell dies if lysosome explodes. It transports undigested material to cell membrane for removal. Next is the mitochondrion or the mitochondria. It transforms chemical energy from food into useful energy for both plant and animal cells. It is the site of cellular respiration. That's why when you eat, it breaks down into sugar, and then the mitochondria takes that sugar and transform it to energy that the cell can actually use. Because the cell can't use sugar, it has to have it in its own chemical form. The DNA, or the deoxyribonucleic acid, is a molecule that contains the genetic codes of all organisms. Lastly is the Golgi apparatus. The Golgi apparatus moves materials within or out of the cell. It stores and packages proteins and materials into structures called vesicles. Then it is shipped out.